Today, we're going to show you some new data that shows that people who use Tesla's full self-driving and who are on Tesla's insurance program are getting higher safety scores and are now seeing their insurance reduced by up to $100 per month. This might mean that if Tesla bundles their insurance with FSD, they could in fact offer FSD for free. Tesla Insurance powered by AI is now becoming clear that it can be a real game changer by offering personalized premiums and could really upend the current one-size-fits-all pricing of incumbent insurers. Combine this with data that is showing that Tesla vehicles are the lowest cost to maintain over early and long life ownership when compared to all other car brands. Teslas break less often, fewer parts are required, localized supply and repair. So today we've got Jeff Lutz with us, and Jeff is an ex-Supply Chain C-Level Executive at several Fortune 100 companies like Google, Lenovo, and Motorola. He's currently running his own consulting firm. Jeff, I can't think of a person that I know of in the retail Tesla community that knows more about this topic today, especially since this is actually your data point that you came up with. So it's going to be very interesting.
Yeah, it's really surprising. It's things converging, I think, right in front of our face, and it's not it's not being widely reported. And it's a lot of the things that people have been talking about, like when is Tesla going to take accountability and liability, and I think there's some answers coming.
Okay, but actually the big news that you are kind of hinting at, because you yourself have FSD in your cars, and you yourself in Chicago, you have Tesla insurance, and you've discovered something that's actually quite big, because if this turns out to be true, that Tesla bundles, and in the future, right, who knows what they'll do, but it sounds like they could bundle insurance with FSD, and you are already seeing lowered insurance rates. So let's walk me through what you're seeing here. You posted this, and I thought this was such a big deal. You said Tesla insurance is paying for most or all of the monthly cost of FSD in my case. So you started with $163 per month as your insurance that you're paying because you have a Model X Plaid. Your driving score at the time, your safety driving score was 90. But then as you started using FSD Supervised 12.5, because you're using FSD, it made your score to 100 because there's already proof that people with supervised FSD it's actually safer than humans over just a few months, and you lowered your premiums by about $70. Tell us what we're looking at here.
Yeah, I'm just showing a table here. This is the most recent prediction of what I'm going to pay in August, which is 110, and then what they're based on my driving score. If you look at going from 97 to 100, actually misquoted, it was 98, 97 to 100. They're going to lower my premiums again about another $17 down to 93. So I started over 163, and now I'm down to 93. Tesla started me at a 90, just a default driving score of 90 with 0 miles driven when I picked up the insurance, and gave me the rate of about 163. I think I have a table in here as well that shows that. And I just manually plotted the last 2 points that are shown where we're just looking at. So yeah, they started me just over at 160. Next month, they took some off as again, I'm using FSD beta for a lot of my driving. And as you use FSD beta, your driving score improves. And it's not difficult to get a good driving score with it. I think they've really updated the whole process, and it's really well managed. And it just, again, I manually plotted the 2 points we're looking at because they haven't been plotted yet by the app. But yeah, I'm down that first larger blue dot is the $110 I showed in the table, and the next blue dot is the $93, which is what it's going to be next month. And that July dot of 147 is that first smaller blue dot. So this is just coming down. Just 4 months of usage, I've taken $70 off my monthly premium for Tesla insurance. And if you've got the $99 FSD, I mean, that's basically paying for 70% of it at this point. And what I see happening here is I think this is the future. I think in the future, Tesla is going to bundle in the very near future. This to me is a unwritten bundle already. I have insurance. I have FSD. Tesla insurance knows I'm using FSD. My driving score is going up. As my driving score goes up, my premiums are coming down, and the two are working together. So my net cost, if you were to add the two together, I'm basically you're getting FSD If you have insurance, you're getting FSD for at this point for $30 a month. And there's other people that have reported, getting their premiums come down even more. Now, I'd like to say that this may not be the same for everybody. I know Tesla insurance, by the way, is not available in every state. And I think everybody's situation is going to be different based on their coverages, based on the number of miles. I'm just pointing out what happened in my situation. In my situation, I bought the insurance. It started at 163, driving score of 90. My driving score has gone up now to 100, using, again, a lot of FSD miles. I drove did a lot of driving on Friday, driving downtown and back, and my driving score, elevated again a couple of points. And when I saw that change, it really just rang a bell for me of like, okay, it looks like this improvement in my driving score in FSD is bringing my insurance premium down. It looks like you bundle the two together, and it's really almost paying for itself.
Yeah, let's dive deeper because I think this is a big news story here that you've discovered. You're not the only one, right? There's this JC Christopher, our friend. He said, if you use Tesla insurance, FSD pays for itself. I have a similar story to Jeff. Went from around 88 safety score before I had FSD. So just to explain to people, when you drive a Tesla, Tesla knows, and because it's such a software-driven car, it knows how safe you drive. It knows how fast you drive. It knows how fast you take corners. And more importantly, Tesla's safety score is based on what activities, what driving characteristics actually do lead to accidents, because they know all this. And they found they realized that stopping at stop signs does not actually lead to more accidents if you don't do that properly. Speed does not actually lead to more accidents, but speed around corners and curves, that leads to accidents. And so they figured out a lot of things that few do, but they give you a safety score. And if you have full self-driving on, it's so much safer than humans already that automatically will raise your safety score. So JC went up to 100 with FSD because he was using it so often within a month, and it lowered his insurance bill by over $100 per month. Tesla was lower than all other reputable insurers in my area. So let's talk about that, Jeff, because obviously there's a lot of information out there that we're hearing from other people. I've got Tesla insurance. I believe Tesla insurance is only available in 12 states in the US because the state's insurance regulation government entities have to approve it. And that's what the slowdown is. But, if you have Tesla insurance, but you don't use FSD, you might see your insurance go up. But if you do, what you're pointing out here is that those people who use FSD, because it raises your safety score, Tesla's willing to lower your insurance. That's the whole point of what they're able to claim. And it's looking like it's actually possibly working for at least these two data points.
Yeah. Like I said, these data points could be different for other people and other situations, but you're right. Tesla uses the sensors in the vehicle to understand, it's all physics, and they've been able to correlate the sensor data from the cars versus the probability of being in an accident and being at fault in an accident. And the way Tesla drives on FSD now in 12.5 and higher, it's almost like a professional chauffeur. The stops are very smooth. It starts out very smooth. The turns are perfect. And it really drives like a professional driver. And I just sit there and I just watch my driving score go up. Now, I think you could get a higher driving score by driving the vehicle yourself manually too, as long as you're just a decent driver. You're not, following people too close, and you're not taking hard turns and accelerating dramatically. Although I do have two very fast Tesla vehicles, and I do drive them pretty quickly as well. And my Cybertruck, I think today has a 97 or 98 driving score, and it has no FSD. So I am a pretty decent driver when it comes to the driving score. But the point is Tesla has this process of understanding how you drive the vehicle, and then in the states where they offer insurance, those two together, I mean, you could basically bundle and get, full self-driving in JC's case for free. So, I mean, other results may differ, but in my situation and his and probably others, you're starting to see this bundle form. And I think in the future, Tesla is going to, and again, I know no information about this, but we've just seen them do a bundle right now with 3 years of full self-driving, charging, the entertainment package, and supercharging the entertainment package. I believe they'll be able to, the data is now, the table's being set. And Tesla has a distinct advantage here that other insurance providers don't have. Yes, they can put things in your vehicle to monitor driving if you want. A lot of people don't elect to do that. But Tesla has a distinct data advantage, again, with insurance, understanding how you drive, understanding the probabilities of it being an at-fault accident. Of course, they have all the data and all the miles with FSD, another data advantage. These data advantages are growing. This is going to be incredibly disruptive as they're able to roll out insurance. We saw the recent appointment of Tom Zhu in China to leading their new insurance entity out there. This is really starting to come together. The U.S. is a test ground for this. I know it's not available in every state, and it will grow. But I mean, there's a couple of situations here, and again, maybe everybody's situation is not going to be the same. But in the situation I'm experiencing, the one that JC experienced, and I've heard from others, it looks like bundling FSD and insurance is kind of unwritten right now, but in the future, maybe something that they actually pull together.
Very, very interesting, because they could either sell more FSD, but they can also sell more insurance, or they can completely disrupt the insurance industry because it's like an additional value that you're getting. And the way that they're disrupting insurance industry is by, making sure that our drivers actually are safer.
Yes.
And we'll talk about the second part of this show today, is talking about how Teslas already are lower cost to maintain. So all of this is leading towards that. So let's take a look at the AGI, right? So Tesla actually has an AI that's actually already generating money for Tesla, which is the insurance and FSD, Tesla's FSD. This is from James from Invest Answers. He's our fellow Cyberbulls. He said Tesla's FSD is about to flip car insurance industry on its head. Smart cars, smart insurance. So Tesla's advantage is real-time driver behavior data. You got FSD software outperforming humans already. Personalized premiums based on actual risk in real time. So in Tesla's insurance, it's they're trying to motivate. They'll give you less. They're able to pay less if you're a safer driver, and if you're not a safer driver, you pay more. Versus the other insurance companies, they're trying to get everybody to pay more in order to cover the people who have accidents, who are bad drivers. Traditional insurance is painting with a broad brush, old model, one-size-fits-all pricing, higher premiums to cover unknown risks. Tesla's approach will force insurers to adapt or die. Smart cars equals smart insurance. Dumb cars stuck with broad brush policies. The revolution is coming, and traditional insurers aren't ready. These guys are in trouble. What do you think is going to happen, Jeff?
Tesla's built a better mousetrap, as James described here. They've built a product that has a lower probability of being an at-fault collision. And therefore, by offering insurance, they can reduce the cost of insurance to be below the rate that other competitors can offer in a given region. So they're building a better mousetrap. They're bringing the pricing lower. That's going to force them, just like what Tesla is doing with EV MSRP pricing. It's going to force them to compete or perish. So this is highly disruptive. This is a better mousetrap. They have better data, and the cars perform better. And there's data on this. We have the one crash per 6.7 million miles driven on FSD versus one crash. I think the NHTSA data is every 670,000 miles. So that's a 10x or an order of magnitude improvement. So what I see Tesla doing with insurance and FSD, they've essentially built a better mousetrap, and it's going to cause serious issues as they get it to scale. It's not at scale right now, to be very clear. These companies that you have shown on the screen right now, they have all the volume, they have all the scale. But as Tesla is able to offer this, and people are going to start seeing, wow, if I buy a Tesla, my costs are this, it costs me this to finance, here's how much it costs me to fuel it, electricity versus gas, here's how much it costs me now to insure it, here's now it can drive itself, and with the insurance, it basically has the potential to actually pay for it in some cases. And then, we're going to talk in a bit about the maintenance costs, and what you're going to see is the total cost to own a vehicle per year and over a 5 or 10 year period is going to be markedly lower versus the others. And this will catch on. This affects people, all the Uber drivers of the world, for example, they look at this, they have spreadsheets of this, down to the penny and nickel. that are looking at this, and just real consumers and real people that buy vehicles look at what is their total cost to drive every single month. And Tesla went from this niche EV, everything's greater than $50,000, to now they've brought the prices down. Now they're able to offer supercharging bundles. They're able to offer now FSD, the car to drive itself, and then to drive it with insurance, and then bundle the two together. It's really reducing the total cost of ownership. It's a difficult story to tell, but it's going to become easier and easier as these examples start shining through.
What do you think about this idea, Jeff? I'm thinking that instead of bundling it, what I'd rather do is I'm thinking they should not bundle it. What they should do is offer such a reduced insurance. So like keep insurance separated and says, this is your insurance cost. If you, of course, have FSD. So it's like, instead of bundling, here's the one price for both. It's like FSD, if you pay for this is your insurance cost. Because then what happens is they will, like if I know my insurance is so much lower than my insurance if I went, regular cars, I would do that. And the other thing is that could it drive good drivers to Tesla? And if it does, these guys they're in big trouble because their business model requires them to get as much more good drivers than bad drivers, and eventually all the good drivers might find out, right? I don't know how that's going to work.
It's certainly a scenario right now. I mean, the basic scenario is in this market, in this Chicago area market, vehicles of this price tier, they're usually over $200 a month to insure, certainly $170, $200 a month to insure, and they've got a product here that's running at half. So it's going to be interesting to see first they beat them on price, and then who knows what else. But this is going to start really coming. And by the way, I've been a Tesla owner for over 10 years, and insurance has been out in Illinois for a period of time, and I didn't have it. I was stuck with my current provider. I was fine, multi-car discounts. Right. Everything. And my costs weren't too bad per month, but Tesla insurance per vehicle is already lower, much lower than what I would get in any competitive rates.
Okay. So this part here, a lot about, which is the least expensive car brands that the cost the least to maintain are American. 4 of the 5 are American. Tesla costs the least. German brands the most in this Consumer Reports. Notice here. So it says here's Tesla. Here's the 10-year cost. The blue is 1 to 5 year cost, and the light blue is 6 to 10 year cost. So it looks like that in the 10 years total, it's about $4,035 for Tesla to maintain and repair. And then these are the brands that are up close, but you can see that it quickly goes up to $5,000 for Fords and Lincolns. So only Toyota and Buick somehow are lower cost as well. But it's already $1,000 difference between 4,000 versus 4,900. And then there's also a list beyond that. So you said that Tesla vehicles are the lowest cost to maintain over the early and long life ownership when it's objectively compared to all the other car brands. Designs that break less often, fewer parts, regionally localized supply and repair are key drivers. Explain how it is that Tesla's cost less to maintain.
Well, I mean, Tesla EVs have less part count. There's fewer parts in the vehicle, and they've made them easier to repair. Things are more modular on the repairs. And I know there's stories about this with the rental car providers, but Teslas, they do break less often, and there's data on this. Larry Goldberg does a great job of tracking warranty and warranty reserves, and Tesla has shown just quarter after quarter to overperform and not need all of those reserves and warranty. So there's multiple data points on this. So EVs in general, less parts. The way Tesla designs them, very focus on part count, less moving parts in them generically versus a combustion vehicle. And Tesla has also been able to drive. Again, it goes back to just having fewer models, driving lots of volume on fewer models. They've been able to really improve the quality and reliability of these models. And you're seeing it in the data. And this is the other interesting thing is if in my family, so I drive Teslas, but we, in the kind of the broader family that we have purchased ICE vehicles. And I just had a bizarre experience, purchasing a new BMW in the family. And they brought us back. We're like, okay, we think we're done. We're buying the vehicle. All of a sudden they want to sell a $5,000 service plan, like if there's any electrical failures in the car. I'm like, why would there be an electrical failure in a brand new car? These electrical circuits should last, for 10 years or more and not have any issues. And they're like, well, let me tell you, I had a problem once and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, what? So it's part of the selling experience for ICE manufacturers, because they get the margins really on the service, tremendous margins on the service side, selling these packages at the point of sale of the vehicle, and then selling these ongoing service plans is where they make a lot of money. And you can see it, and BMW's at near the bottom of that list, what I just mentioned. And really a lot of the German manufacturers are as well. More difficult to repair, more difficult to get the repair parts, and more components in these vehicles, just more complex, and the cost. But if you now take that Tesla data point and extrapolate that over the first 5 years of ownership and the first 10 years of ownership, now you layer on the fuel cost and all the savings. Now you layer on what we just talked about with insurance, and you're really seeing like the total cost being much, much lower. So I think this is an incredible data point. This is from Consumer Reports. This is being objectively looked at. This is not a Tesla data point. This is coming from Consumer Reports. And the internet is strange, because over the last decade, what everybody tries to point out is every wrong thing they ever see with a Tesla. And when you actually start stepping back and looking at the data in aggregate, as I told you with Larry and the warranty data, and now you're seeing it with Consumer Reports, and actually tracking people and their total cost of ownership of the vehicle and maintenance, the data is clear that Tesla has an advantage here.
Yeah, so let's take a look at this one more time. Tesla is cost for 10 years is $4,000, and Toyota's a $4,900. But if you look at the popular big names, I'm going to skip here to BMW here. We're at $9,500 for BMW. You've got Audi at $9,890, Mercedes-Benz at $10,000, Porsche at $14,000. So we're getting close to double if you decide to get a BMW or Mercedes versus a Tesla. So it's just something to consider. And of course,
And these four names are they have a fairly big EV lineup, all four of these names. So it's interesting as they roll out EVs, they have a dependency on these service plans as part of their gross margin and their unit economic models for these vehicle launches. So it's going to be interesting to see how that goes as they transition more and more to EV. But certainly Audi, Mercedes-Benz, and Porsche have been increasing their EV output, and it'll be interesting to see what happens to these bars over time. But again, they're mostly ICE shops for sure.
Okay, so let's talk about AI. We've been talking about AI in insurance, Tesla's AI in and just where Tesla's doing in real world AI with their bots. This guy named Ashley Vance, he's an author, and he wrote this. It says, I'm not allowed to say who said this, so it's an unknown source. Someone with very, very deep knowledge of AI in modern factories says Tesla has massive edge on bridge between AI and physical world. He's an author. I don't remember what book. I think he wrote a book on Steve Jobs. It might have been.
Well, no, he did a biography on Elon Musk too.
Oh, he did. Yes. Okay.
Yeah.
This person thinks that others building humanoid robots don't have a great first customer. Tesla does. So you're the person to ask about AI and factories. Tell us about how Elon could use AI in our factories and how that could even improve the cost of the car, the cost to maintain the car, the insurance, all this that we were talking about.
I posted on this last year. I said if Elon has this span of 15 or 20 direct reports, and you see what Elon's doing in the industry, pushing these edge devices out to consumers and really driving AI into these. When I say edge device, these are the 7 million Teslas on the road, and these are going to be the hundreds of thousands going to millions of Tesla bots in the future. And you see the agenda that he's pushing there. And what I want people to just imagine and understand, again, I have a pretty deep manufacturing background, is just think what he's pushing onto his engineering teams and his manufacturing teams and his broader supply chain teams in terms of their use of AI. Can you actually, for example, could you predict and prevent defects in your manufacturing process via AI using cameras, looking at the kind of the static state of how the assembly is, and then correlating that to as it's being tested down the line, and then be able to correlate those input images and video to how it actually objectively and electrically performs later in testing down the line and its functional testing. There's so many different applications where you could be using AI. You could be using it with the sales data and aligning it with factory output and orders. You can be aligning it with the supply chain. You can be using it in engineering in terms of simulations and doing more rapid simulations to prevent design iteration. So you can either move quickly in the engineering process and then prevent issues in the engineering process, basically advanced modeling tools, whether it's melt flow analysis, whether it's you name it. There's tools that have been used today and for years, and that are more kind of they're just engineering tools and they're simulation tools, but they can be taken to whole new levels with machine learning and AI. So the broader point here is if you see him pushing this, you see what he's doing with Tesla vehicles, what he's doing with the humanoids, what he's doing with these massive GPU clusters and ramping them up and getting them online. You can only imagine what he's challenging his teams to do in his manufacturing, design, and broader supply chain is the point. So I agree with what's in here, and I can imagine that there's a lot of stuff happening here that we just do not hear about, and we may not hear about it ever, or we may hear about it in the future in terms of how Tesla uses AI internally.
Love it, Jeff. This is it, man. So do you know what BYD, Toyota, BMW, Audi, all these car companies, any car company, what they don't have? They don't have insurance. They don't have full self-driving. They don't have a world-class AI team. They don't have the large supercompute data center clusters of compute. And so now, if you have all that, not only, as we said at the first half of the show, you articulated very well how you can see the bundling of FSD to insurance to then the cars, and then the lower cost to repair. But then what you pointed out was if you can even use that same AI to all the factories, which again, these guys have factories, but where are they going to get the AI and the supercomputer and the world-class team to apply the AI in the factories that then lower the cost to repair and the cost to produce all these things? So
yeah, there's a revolution upon us. AI is not only going to appear in devices in the business setting for productivity, it's going to change. And it's not only just going to be adding humanoids to the factory. There's so many other things that you could put AI in, whether it's cameras, whether you name it, just adding compute to prevent defects, to understand material flows better, to understand shipping routes better. There's so many different applications that you could do with AI and permutations that you can run. This is honestly just the beginning. So it's not just going to be humanoids that lower their manufacturing costs and create abundance. It's going to be other instantiations of AI that are going to do it. And really, it's already starting. I know several examples of how this can be used, but I can't imagine a company in a better position right now than Tesla to leverage it.
Oh, very fortunate that you were the person to talk about these stories today. I think the discovery that you made about your own experience about using FSD in your own cars, and then you having Tesla insurance, and then you watching the Tesla insurance fall as you use FSD more, your safety score went up. That is, I think, a big story that no one else has talked about yet except you. So this could be for future forecasts that they're going to bundle it, because it's proving to you they can lower your insurance costs if you use FSD. Like this is, it's happening.
And today I buy them separately today, but today for me, it's already a bundle. Why would I get rid of FSD? It's going to lower my driving score and raise my insurance. Why would I do it?
Right.
So to me, it's already kind of an unwritten bundle, but I think they're going to move these things together in the future. And I think it's going to be a big deal for consumers.
Thank you so much, Jeff. Okay, appreciate it. Follow him on X, Jeff Lutz on X. Thanks, Jeff.
Follow Herbert.
Bye, everybody.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye-bye. I've created a website that is the most comprehensive resource for the Tesla investor. Please check it out. Simply go to my website at herbertong.com.